friends, family, strangers online that I've never met. Hey. So today we are going to be going over me and my boyfriend's financial goals for 2021. I briefly mentioned some of the goals that we have for this year in the vision board video that I did. I uploaded it. If you haven't checked it out, I will go ahead and link it right here. Or is it right here? I don't know, somewhere up there. But this is a video where we are going to actually get into numbers and talk about it more in depth. So we are going to be focusing on three main areas. The first one is going to be savings, and that will include an emergency fund and sinking funds. And then the second one is, of course, debt. And then the last one is going to be traveling, which I guess could also go under savings. So we will just start with the emergency fund. Also, if you see me looking this way, it's because my computer is right here and I don't want to accidentally share the wrong information. I just want to make sure I'm being 100% accurate, so that's why I'm looking here. But anyways, let's start with the emergency fund. So we currently have a balance of $340. We did have a balance of $1,000 a couple months ago, but then Christmas happened and then a few other things happened and we dipped into it. We actually dipped into all of it. Since then, we've put back in $340. In case you haven't noticed, I haven't been posting videos in a couple of months. I kind of, not only was I like kind of struggling in different areas of my life, I was also struggling in my like financial area of my life. So it was just really messy, and obviously I was not doing well with the budget. So that is really just why we only have $340 in our savings account. Our goal for this year is $2,000. We want a balance of $2,000 in there. So first, we obviously want to build back up to the $1,000 that Dave Ramsey suggests for baby step number 1. And then after that, we will just slowly build up to $2,000. We won't be as aggressive as we are with building the first $1,000. And that's just because $1,000 will be okay for us, but we would feel more comfortable with $2,000. And we're just gonna take our time with that because as we're building, we'll still have $1,000. So that is the plan for the emergency fund. Then the second category of savings would be sinking funds. And we have 3 categories within the sinking funds, or 4 if you want to count traveling, that we really want to focus on this year. So the first category is Christmas. Christmas is always a really big expense for us each year because I have a lot of family. I have a few friends, and then we also have some of Miguel's family. So we just have a lot of people, and I am 100% the type of person that goes overboard when it comes to like getting gifts or just all of that stuff. This year we really want to be prepared and not have to save a really big chunk of the goal amount that we want near the end of the year. So we want to start right away, which is going to be in March. So the goal for that is $1,200. If you would like a video on how I more specifically got that number, just comment down below and I will make that video. But that is the amount that we are striving for. That includes gifts, decorations, things like that. And the way that we want to get there is I basically just divided $1,200 divided by the amount of months that we have left in the year, which is 10. So that would be $120 a month, which I think is doable, very doable for us. So that is the goal for that. And if at the end of the year we want more, then we can work on that. The next category within sinking funds is wedding rings. So me and my boyfriend have been together for 5 years. It's going to be 6 years this year. And we've talked a lot about getting married. And because we do our finances together, we have a sinking fund for wedding rings. Right now, I think it only has like $20, but clearly that is something that we want to do eventually. So we are going to start saving for that this year, and we are going to fully fund that fund. So the goal for that, for just my engagement ring, we decided on $1,000. So basically, when we have the $1,000 saved into the wedding ring sinking funds, my boyfriend can then decide if he wants to save more than the $1,000, then he can do that, and he can take his time with that, or he can get the ring then, and he doesn't even have to spend all of the money. But basically, that $1,000 is just the mutual standard and goal that we set for each other, if that makes sense. It's basically just like when that $1,000 is in there, then we know we can start the ball on that. I really hope that makes sense. And then the third sinking fund goes hand in hand with that, which is a wedding. I 100% want a big traditional wedding, and it does not matter how long we have to save. I want that. So I want to start saving this year. I don't have really a set goal, just because I don't know when we're gonna save for the engagement rings. I don't know when we're gonna get engaged. I don't even know how much my wedding would cost. So all of those things I just don't know. So I just put unlimited for that, and we'll kind of just work on that each month as we do the budget. But we are going to start saving for that as well. Then the last category I'm just gonna put into this one, since it is considered saving as well, is traveling. So me and Miguel have one really big trip this year. In May, we are going to Boston for about 6 days. We're gonna be in Boston for 4 days, and then we're gonna spend 2 nights in New York. We've already got the plane tickets. We just need to pay for everything else. So that includes like hotels, the food, the costs for the things we wanna do in New York. And I have basically estimated all of that to be at a price of $1,600. It is basically March already. So we have March, April, and then a little bit of May to save that $1,600. With this trip, we are going to be very aggressive on it. And that is basically our plan. Whenever we have extra money, we are going to be aggressive with that. And more information about really the numbers and how we're gonna be handling all of these things will happen when you see our monthly budgets. So that is the really big trip we have for this year. And then also Miguel was telling me that he really wants to go back to California for a trip. Here was the dilemma. So I wanted to bring my sister, my brother, and my mom with us to California because, you know, I wanted to go to Disneyland, Universal Studios, the beach, all of those things. But I was just thinking about it the other day, and sadly, we just don't know how long COVID is going to affect us. Like, Disneyland is not even open right now. I'm like 99% sure. So I want us to be able to go to California and not worry about restrictions and if things aren't open. I just want us to have a really good, I just want us all to have a good, really good experience. So we decided that we are just going to plan a California trip, plan a Cali trip probably for next year or whenever all of this COVID mess is over. That way we can really do all of the things that we want to. So even though the trip is not until probably like next year or whatever, we are going to start saving for it now. We are not going to be as aggressive as we are with the Boston trip, but you know, monthly, something small. Again, that'll come into play when we actually do the monthly budgets each month. Those are basically the 2 trips for traveling. We do have like a few smaller trips planned, and I know I keep saying this, but more detail will come into each monthly budget. And I just keep saying that because it really just depends on our bills. If things come up, just how much money we have left over each month will determine how much we can put into our sinking funds, which I'm pretty sure most of you already know. So now for the very last goal, but the most important for sure for us, is our debt goal. So this year we have made a very aggressive goal of $20,000. Will we reach that? I hope so, but I am not 100% confident that we will. Not in a bad way, but just like being realistic, I don't think we'll meet all the way up to 20,000, but that is just our goal. That's just what we're aiming for. So I went back and, did some comparing and stuff. So I loosely started writing down and tracking our debt balances at the end of each month in March of last year. So March of last year, we were at $58,000 in debt. By the end of 2020, so obviously in December, we were left at $43,000. In that 10-month period, we paid off a total of $15,000. And I'm just gonna be 100%, we were not as aggressive as we could have been. We were not as focused as we could have been. So I do think we could have paid off more. And that's kind of just what I'm basing off this year off of that. We're kind of starting at the same point because January and February were just kind of like awful for our budget. And we're getting back on that mentality of being aggressive and focused in March. So that is our goal. We started 2020 at $43,000 in debt. Right now, we currently stand at $41,000 in debt. So between January and February, we paid off $2,000 in debt, and that is really just off of our monthly expenses. The monthly payments that we pay on all of our debt totaled up to $1,000 that dropped down. So we are just gonna put on our math caps for 2 seconds. So if we pay minimum $1,000 each month just from our monthly payments, since we have 10 months left for the rest of the year, that would be $10,000. To get to our goal of $20,000, we would subtract $10,000 because of the 10 months left, but then we would also subtract $2,000 because of January and February. I just realized I made that harder than it needed to be, but that would leave us with $8,000. And $8,000 now divided by the 10 months that we have, we would have to put aside an additional $800 each month towards debt for the rest of the year. So that would be a total of $1,800 each month for the rest of the year to reach our $20,000 goal. Whew. So if we were to reach that $20,000 goal, let's just say we have a really great year, then that would drop us down to $21,000. Sounds really, really cool. I mean, zero would be better, but that is pretty exciting to think about. So even if we don't reach the $20,000 year goal, we would still be in the $20,000 range at the end of this year, which is really exciting because the majority of that is honestly just my car. So just the idea of having just my car payments to pay for debt, towards debt, that's nice. So I guess it really just comes down to 2 categories, which is savings, which includes all of the sinking funds and the emergency fund, and then the debt. I'm really glad that I have this sort of plan, or at least have all of my goals written down, because now when I'm doing my monthly budget, I want to look back on that and make sure that I'm staying aligned with those goals. So I'm actually really excited for this year and to see how well we can progress with our goals this year. I really, really hope that we reach all of them. I am going to work as hard as I can so that we can reach those goals. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I am wondering, have you guys written out your financial goals for this year? If you have, share some with me. I love reading the comments and I love seeing where everyone is at, just like with their lives. I'm a little bit nosy, so I'd like to know. Or you can just comment down below if you like this video. Please make sure you like this video. If you're not subscribed already, just hit that red button down below. If you have not taken a look at your financial goals for this year, this is the sign that you should. Come hop on this financial debt paying off, financial freedom journey train with me. So in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm kind of on a roll with uploading this week, so I don't feel too crazy about saying that I will have my next video uploaded on Saturday, which is going to be the budget for March. I'm so excited about getting back to uploading budget videos and showing our progress. I also have a small surprise, so stay tuned for that video on Saturday, and I'll see you guys then.